I hope you can see me. I'm having a real problem sorting my monitors out at the minute. One of my oh, hi Tanith. So I'm just, you have to excuse me, just messing about to the side. My laptop decided to do a reboot, so I'm just working on my phone. So I just want to make sure that hi Caroline, hi Terry, hi Tracy, hi. I'm just waiting for a laptop to, oh, see, and I plugged in a tablet quickly and it's as flat as a pancake, but we'll get there, we'll get there. Can you hear me? That's important. I hope you can hear me. Ah. And as you can see, by the power of my my brain, I moved the camera back. So that's slightly less scary this week. So do I need to move the camera? Oh, sound is fab. Oh, thanks, Joe. Phew. Right, do I need to turn my phone round? Can somebody just tell me that? Because I haven't got a monitor to see at the moment, so I'm just kind of doing this from this. Hi Denny, hi. Right, let's try. Ooh. Hang on. How is that? Are we good? Hopefully. Yes. Oh, thanks, Terry. Right, are we good? Yay! Happy days, happy days, happy days. Hi, Patty. Hi, Joe. Oh. Hi, Mum. Yeah, I've turned it now, so I think we're good. I think we're good. Turned it, and like I said, by the power of my brain, I realised if I move the camera back, I'm not so in your face, so that's good. So we are happy days. So I'm just going to see if I can get a monitor to work now, and I can't, so never mind. Right, well, there's about 8 minutes left and I'll have my laptop, so that will be good. I don't look like my avatar now. Oh no. Hi Liz, hi Marcia. Hi. Oh fab, oh, I'm glad you're all here, it's lovely. It's really nice to see everybody. So I'm going to do a bit on alcohol links tonight. That's the plan. Now, you know, I know the whole thing with the Dorbury doodads, but I'm not gonna be doing anything with the Dorbury doodads. We'll do a few things with them straight to the paper, and then we're also going to do a few things with a jelly press, so it should be fun. It should be fun. You have to excuse me looking away. I'm just really keen to make sure that you have a really good experience in watching this. Hi Andrew. I'm just checking out to see if I can get any kind of other monitor going, really, because when I put the camera down, I'm not going to be able to see if you can see, so it's going to be quite interesting. Right, I might go for it. I might just see, because I can always look underneath to see if you can see. because I don't want to keep you hanging around waiting forever for a monitor, which is pretty much, I think, what is going to happen at this rate. Right, okay. Right. Hi, Susan. Hi, nice to see you. Right, I'm going to turn this down, and you're going to have to bear with me because I'm going to have to try and make sure. All right, there we go. All right. I think that's good positioning there. Right, so I'll show you the kind of things that I thought we could do tonight. So I'm going to do some dropping. Now I can't see any comments now at all, I'm afraid, because I don't have a monitor. So, but right, there we go. Good stuff. Yeah, so this is just dropping the ink and using some alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and making little dots and then doodling on the top. So that's really good fun. So we're going to do a bit of that. Then the other thing we're going to do straight to paper is this, which is this is using a stencil with alcohol inks, which is really good fun, and that's the negative image from that. So you get 2 for 1 really when you do that method, which is quite nice. So we'll be looking at that. And then there's this, which is a stencil on a jelly press with alcohol inks. So we'll be doing some of that. And this one is a texture plate, an Art by Marlene texture plate with alcohol inks on a jelly plate. Now, I don't know if anybody else knows anything more about this, because I need to do some research. But I've used the texture plate and that's been fine. And I've also used red rubber stamps and they've been fine. But I haven't used any polymer stamps because I didn't know if they would be fine or not. So I haven't used them. So I don't know if anybody else knows anything about that. But I've stuck to red rubber and the effects have been great. So, and there's another stencil on a gel press. So that's what we're going to be looking at. One of the other things I thought we could do while we're going along, oh no, I've put it safe again, haven't I? Do you know, I honestly cannot be trusted to put things safe. I thought we could make a little booklet as we're going along, so that we've got something to put some of the stamps and the presses and things in. I mean, obviously we can do it on playing card as well, that's not a problem, but I just thought if anybody wanted to, it's ever so easy, and you might have seen me do it before because it's something I do quite regularly. I use the large Art by Marlene tags. You might have some, and I use them to make little books. So what I do is very quick and easy. Just putting, you should see me. I've got my head at such an angle under here to see if you can see this. Right. So what I do is I just take the end and I fold it in so that the eyelet is nicely out of the way. And I've got a bone folder somewhere. There we go. So I fold that like that, and then I just fold the rest of it in half, and I use a bone folder like that. And you can, it doesn't matter what colour you use, to be honest. I'm just using white because I thought that that would give you a nice clear image of the gel presses and things that we do. And then I do like a corner rounder, I can't help it. So I do that. So I've got that going on. And then I cut myself some pieces of card to go inside. And the best way to do that is just to, whatever you're using, measure the space and then just make sure you come in a little bit. So I do that, and I'm just doing, I've done three pieces like that. And like that, because I just like it. So I've got my pages there, and then what I do is I just put that in the tag, and now you could do this how I'm doing it, or you can do it however you usually do it, but I just find this nice and quick and easy. So what I do is I clip that in place so that it all matches up. There we go, centre to centre. And oh, bear with me, I'm just excited because one of the monitors is actually working. And then when I've got it centre to centre, I just use my, I use a crocodile, but you could just pop it on a foam pad with a pokey tool. And all I do is I do one hole there. Oh, I'm a little bit off centre, but that'll be fine. And I do one hole there. So I've got my 2 holes. So I can take those away now. And then when I've finished popping this on the prints and things, I will put some string through there and I'll tie the ribbon on there. So we'll be away. So there we go. Right, so I'll pop that to one side for now. And we'll crack on. Right, I'm going to start with some Yupo paper. Now, and thank you very much, Tracy Elson, for the Yupo paper. It doesn't have to be Yupo paper. You can use photographic paper. You can use any paper that's got a shiny surface for this. And when we're using the gel press, you can use any paper at all. But for what I'm about to show you, you want something with a shiny surface. You can even use some metallic paint on a plain card, and that will do the job for you. So it doesn't have to be Yupo paper. So the first thing we're going to do with this is we're going to do one of the techniques that you need to have a little bit of patience for. And I am just, sorry, bear with me, I'm just logging in now. So hopefully I'll be able to see what you're seeing. I'm all I did there and I can't remember my password. Hang on. Right, yes, so hopefully I'll be able to see what you're seeing, and I think that'll probably be quite helpful instead of craning my my neck to try and see it. Oh no, where's, there we go, bear with me, I'm sorry to just put a little pause on there. Oh, thank goodness. I'm so pleased about that. I don't know if I will be, mind you, when I get to see what you're seeing, but Oh no, that's going to be a million miles behind, isn't it? Hang on, bear with me. Oh, I'm so sorry about this. That's not happening either. Never mind. Okay, well, let's just carry on the way we're going, and maybe I'll get the laptop going soon, because I think everything's okay. I'm going to pop you up a second. Is everything okay? I think everything's okay. Right, let's crack on then and go back to the paper. Right. So what you need to do is you need to have your shiny paper, and you need to pick a stencil. So I'm going to go with, it works quite well with quite intricate stencils, but you want to use a stencil that you don't mind just sitting around for a little while, because with this you want it to dry before you remove the stencil. So you've got to have a little bit of patience with it. Now I'm going to be using a few Ranger inks I've got, but there are all kinds of alcohol inks out there. I'm just going to pop some cardboard behind it to make it easier to move out of the way when we've done this. So there are plenty of different brands out there. There's Bria Reese, I think it is. I'm trying to think who else there is. There's Bria Reese. There's the Pinata ones. There's all sorts of brands out there. So it's well worth experimenting. Right, I'm going to pop some alcohol ink on here now. This is all you do. So you just pop your ink on. There we go. I'm going to go for a little bit more in the centre there. So, wow, this pink is so pink. There we go, and ooh, a lot of this. Now I haven't got many colours, because you don't need many really. I mean, it's nice to have a whole stack of them, but you don't need it. Right, so I've done that, and what I do now is I just pop it over to one side and leave it to dry. Alcohol inks don't take long to dry, and we'll be popping that off shortly. Right, I'm going to move that one out of the way. And the next thing we're going to do is some dropping onto the Yupo paper. So bear with me again. I've got another monitor. Honestly, you know, best laid plans and all that, but never mind. Right, so we need another piece of Yupo paper. And what we do with this one is we check that you can see it. Yes, you can. And I'm just going to drop the alcohol ink onto the paper. And let me think. Actually, one of the things I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to show you what I do. I use, because all you need is isopropyl alcohol. And I buy, it's a nail varnish remover, and I put it into a spray bottle so that I can get some different effects with it. And I'm just gonna spray a little bit of this because it will just make the inks move a little bit more. So there we go, I've done a little spray of that. Hopefully you can see this. Whew, you need a ventilated room for this. And I'm just gonna put a few blobs of the ink. There we go. Now at this point I could tip the paper to get some drips and runs if I wanted to, or I could use, it's not a great idea to use oh, what's the word, a hot, you know, a hot air dryer. But a hair dryer on a cool setting can be quite good, or blowing through a straw or anything like that can, you know, just moves the ink and creates interesting shapes, which is fun. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another colour and I'm just going to pop it on top of this one. As well as a few other spots. And then I'm going to go for another one. And you just keep on like this. Just keep going like this until you're happy with what you're seeing in front of you. Oh, there we go. Let's have some movement in this one. Now, I've got to say, it's not the most exciting one I've ever done, but, you know, they're not all winners, are they? And we just sort of, that seems to be, oh, there we go. We're starting to get a little bit more movement now. And I'm going to spray oh, I've gone all over my, got some on my book, but that's fine. There we are. So I can do like that. I've created the most awful mess here, but it happens. I'm just going to keep at it. It's not over until it's over. And another fun thing to do with these that I really like doing is get your dotting tool and dip it into the alcohol, and then you can make circles. I'm just dotting away. There we go. That's getting a little bit more interesting. Oh, thank goodness. There's always that moment when you're doing something and you think, oh gosh. But no, we're good. It's going to be okay. So, just adding dots of the alcohol here and there. And it's just moving the ink around and just creating an interesting background. So I'm going to leave it at that for now because I really want to get onto the gel press and show you that. So I want to finish this off. So the other thing that I like doing is I like to add, and I know there are mixatives and things that you can add. I've just got some, these are it's Daily Art mixed media, and I'm just blobbing some of the gold onto this. And I know it looks an absolute mess now, but once it's dried and I can do some doodles and things on it, it should be quite interesting. And it's quite interesting to cut up for backgrounds and all the rest of it. So, right, let's leave this so I can move on to the gel press. And be careful because I don't want to move that too much because I quite like where that's at now. I'm going to pop it somewhere where it's going to stay relatively flat. There we go. Great stuff. And bear with me because I've got another monitor up, so hopefully I'm actually going to see what you're seeing, which is going to be probably terrifying, but we'll see now. No, I don't know why it's gone there. Oh, this is strange, isn't it? Right, let's have a look. Bear with me, I do apologise for this. I am normally far more on it than this. Right. And I come in to see myself. There I am. Hooray. Right. Right, I can see what you can see. So, haha. Happier days, hopefully. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the gel plates out. I'm going to be a lot happier because I can see what I'm doing. This is, I've had this one for absolutely yonks. If you get a gel press, keep it in its packaging. That's the best place to keep it, because once they get dusty or fluffy, they really struggle. So I keep mine in its packaging, and it's a happy bunny. So I've had it for, gosh, I don't even know how long. I've had it for years. Here's where I thought I was doing a fantastic gel press with acrylic paints, and then I realised I hadn't taken the cover off. So, but hey ho, you know, it takes all sorts. Right, so I've got the gel press, and what shall we start with? Let me think. I think we'll start with the texture plate. I think that's a good place to start. Okay, so what we do is we pick the colours that we want to use. Bear in mind that alcohol ink dries a lot quicker than anything else you'll use, and you want to use fairly bright colours on it as well, bright or dark, you know, you want to be able to see them quite well. Right, so I've just splattered some ink on there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the texture plate quickly. I'll start by using the Art by Marlene texture plate, because it's just gorgeous. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my brayer and brayer that ink out. Then I am going to wipe my brayer, because I'll be using the same one throughout, so I'm just giving that a wipe with an old cloth I use. And then by then you want some sort of stickiness to the ink. You don't want it to be, you don't want to do it immediately, so you want to give it a little second or two and then go in there. So I've got my texture plate, and I'm just going to pop it on there, give it a nice push. So I'm getting a good contact on there. If you haven't got a lot of oomph in your push, you can always just go over it with your brayer, and then we peel that off. Now I am not going to do it now. Well, I might do it now actually. I've had a little bit of success in reusing that print. It doesn't always come out, but sometimes it's worth doing. And oh, we've got a tiny little bit there, but never mind, that's fine. We'll be doing some other things with that. But sometimes it comes out. Sometimes it's worth doing. So we've got that now, and I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera. I'll have a little look now and see if you can pick it up. I don't think you can, no. But it's come out really nicely. And what we need is a pale acrylic paint. And it was actually the whole reason I started using this technique is because I was making some samples for the recent Art by Marlene show on Hochanda, and Marlene saw something I'd done and said, well, have you tried using alcohol ink on the gel press? And she said that she liked using buff paint. And I thought, I don't know about that, but I'll give it a go, and I have, and it's gorgeous. So there we go. So now the trick with this is I'm going to try and show you how much I use, because it's kind of less is more really, because you only want the paint to pick up the image, and if you put too much paint on, all you'll end up picking up is paint, and you don't want that. You want to pick up the image. So I stick the paint on my mat. There we go. Get a coating on my brayer, and I'm just going to give this a little touch because I want to make sure it's dry. Yeah, it's dry because it's nice and quick. And then I'm just giving a thin coat of paint, and then I want to be nice and quick with this. I'm going to just show you use my cover. go. Oh, that's come out fab. There we go. You can see you can get a really nice image transfer. I'm just gonna pick up some of those bits on the rest of here. There we go. And I think it's all dry now. So there we go. You can see how that works. It's really effective. And I'll show you it now with the red rubber stamps as well. So let me just use my grotty cloth to clean this out the way. There we go. So there's the gel press again. And the other thing that's quite nice with these, I thought I had it over here. I'm sure I have. Yes, I have. It's just hidden under a stack. This is what I used on my samples. I used the round one just to do like a focal point, and that looks quite nice, I thought. Right, so I'm going to use some inks. There we go. So there's some inks, and then we roll them with brayer. You can leave them blobby if you want to. If you want to put a bit on there, you can leave some blobs and get some interesting patterns. That's not a problem at all. But I prefer to roll it out. So just give that a little waft, just to make sure it's just a little bit drier. And I'm using it's another Art by Marlene stamp this time, but it's red rubber. Like I said, I don't know about the polymer clay. Hi Amanda. Hi. Don't worry about being late. You just missed me faffing around, not having a monitor, and getting in a faff with me inks. So you've probably timed it just right, because things have been a little bit interesting. So yeah, probably timed it just right. There we go. So I'll take that one out. I'll give it a go and see if we get anything off it. That's the beauty of doing these little... No, there was nothing to come off that one. That's the beauty of doing these little books, is that you know, you can just put all these little bits and pieces in them, and eventually you'll have something quite nice. Right. That's nice and dry. So I'm going to use, I'll use a pale blue this time to pull this one off. So I'm just doing a line of blue there, and just getting it on the brayer. Go. Come on, brayer, behave yourself. Right, there we go. So there we go. So again, it's a thin, less is more coating, because you want to pull the print off and not a whole load of paint that you've stuck on there. So here we go, I'm going to use page for this. There you go. If you're concerned about your pushing, again, use the brayer. If if you don't think you've got a lot of oomph going on, just use the brayer. There we go, and you can see that's come out really nicely as well. So, and I'm just going to pick up these little excess bits if I can before they go too dry. There you go. So that's the two prints that we've got off there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I do stencils on the gel press with alcohol inks. So this time we need to put a thin layer of paint. Well, we don't need to, I mean you can do it without, but I've been messing about with this now and the best results are through doing a thin layer of paint. So doing it exactly the same as I've just been doing it to take those prints off. I'm just doing a little line of paint. That's one of the reasons I like using these paints, is because I can squirt a little line of paint out and it just makes life a lot easier. So we put a thin layer of paint on our plate like that, and then that's got to dry, but because it's only a thin layer it doesn't take long, thank goodness. So it's all good. There we go. And I'll just give that a little waft. And we just want it to be drier than that. So, but it will be. It won't take long. I'll tell you what, I'm going to pop that to one side and we'll have a look at the stencil that we popped down earlier and see if that's dry while we're waiting. Right, let's have a look. How dry is that? Oh yeah, that's looking good. Right, so this is a stencil that we put down earlier and I've just left it. I haven't touched it. And I'm now going to peel it off carefully. There we go. And I might be able to get a little bit more off this. But with this, because I'll be using the alcohol to clean it, I'll be able to give it a squirt with some alcohol and where's the alcohol gone? There it is. I'll show you now. If I squirt some alcohol on that, it will loosen up the ink again. And I'll be able to get another image from that. You can see that's coming off. So if I took my time and sprayed it and did it nicely, I could get quite a nice image from that. But you know, I'm just conscious of not wanting to take up half your life tonight, so I'm going to leave that for now. But yeah, so that's that. So that needs to dry just a little bit more, because where the stencil was, there will still be some wetting, so we'll leave it for a little bit longer to dry. And then once it's completely dry, you can go over it with if you want to use Posca markers or whatever. You can add whatever you want to it, but I think it's lovely and it works really, really well with intricate stencils. This is a this is a That's Crafty stencil. That's worked really, they do quite a few really nice intricate ones that work really well. And the mandala stencil from the Just Lou collection from Studio Light works brilliantly as well. That's another one that's nice and intricate. So anyway, we'll put that back to one side, because hopefully the gel press should now be good to go. Fingers crossed. Oh yeah, so oh, she says, yeah, we're good enough. It's touch dry. There's a little bit of moisture there, but that's just that little spot, and I'm going to ignore that for now so I can get on with this for you. So you've got a very thin layer of paint on there that you've allowed to dry. Sorry Amanda, is that Yupo? For the stencil that I just did, it's Yupo. For the things that I'm doing on the gel press, it's just normal paper. But you don't have to use Yupo. You can use photographic paper, any shiny paper. Or you can paint metallic paint on paper and use that. Yeah, you could make it work like that. There's lots of things you can use instead of Yupo, but Yupo is the sort of quickest and easiest really. Except with the gel press. With the gel press you can use anything. Right, so I've got my dry paint on my gel press, a nice thin layer, and I'm going to pop some paint. They're nice colours. Thank you. Thanks Jenny. They're just the colours I've got. I haven't got I think I've got, what have I got? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 alcohol inks, and I've had 3 of them for donkey's years, because they do last, but you can get some fab effects with them. They're so much fun. Right, so I've done my ink, and again you can choose to roll it out or not. I'm going to roll. There we go. And then I'm going to wipe my roller, because I'm going to be using it for the paint now. Then I'm going to pick a stencil. Oh. Now, I was quite fancying this one to see what would happen. So I've got a stencil on there. And I'm just going to grab some paper or card. Actually, I'll grab one of these sheets of card here. And I'm just going to go over with my roller to pick up some of the bits in the gaps of the stencil. There we go. So that's quite a nice little byproduct of what we're doing. So I'll keep that. I'll probably use that for something. And then I'm going to lift my stencil off. And again, there is residue on that. So if you were taking your time, you could use all of these stencils as I'm taking them off and there's residue on them. You can use them for other pages, and the stamps and things like that. You can get the residue off and use it for other pages. I'm just conscious of time and not wanting to take the whole night up for you. Right, so I'm just touching this to check it's dry, and it is. And I think I'm going to go for the, oh, that's a noise, isn't it? I'm going to go for the pale blue colour, and again it's a thin layer. like we did last time. So I've got it on my brayer, thin layer. Lovely thin layer of paint, and I'm going to get one of these pages again because I'm determined to get a little journal out of this. And again, if you need a bit of oomph, use your brayer. I've got on the back, oh, it's a squeaky one. There we go, and I'll lift that one off. There we go, and you can see that's the stenciled image that's come off. So, and again, I'm going to see if I can get some of these extra bits before they dry. No, they've dried, but that's fine. That's fine. So from that stenciled image, we got that one, which is the full lift, and we got that one when we were just pressing the stencil down. So that's quite a good one. I'm going to do that one again actually to get another page. So if you want to watch one more time with me. How am I doing for time? Is it hideously? Have I taken hours? I'm not sure. Right, so I'm going to do a thin layer of paint again. And it really is about keeping it thin. It's, you know, whatever you're doing on your gel press, a thin layer is a good way of doing it. Right, so I've got my thin layer of paint, and I'll let that dry off just a little bit. Is there any? No, I'm just looking to see if there's any comments or questions, and it looks like we're good. So, right, give that a little waft. And just touching that with my finger to see how dry it is. We're nearly there. And I'm going to pop some inks on. A bit of pink. There we go. I'm not sure how the yellow's going to show up, but we'll give it a go because it might it'll bring out a sort of more orangey tone to everything else, which is nice. So there we go. There, I'll just wipe my brayer off, and then I'm going to pop my stencil on, and I'm going to use the back of this because I want to get some of this colour on here actually because it's so nice. So let's have a look. Yeah, so you can see I've got some of that colour on there. there we go. And yeah, and don't panic when you're looking at this now. Like, I'm not looking to see if I've got all of the colour off the spaces, because that just isn't going to happen. Because what's going to happen when I lift this is that the colour is on it's going to be taken up from where the stencil was, so that's where we'll get our interesting imagery. So I think that's dry enough to go over now. So we've got that from the waist, if you want to call it that. And I think I'll use the buff this time. So just a line. And keep it nice and thin. Because we will lift the image. There we go. So it does want a little bit of pressure on it. I've missed a little bit there, so I'm just going to see if I can catch it now. It doesn't always, you can't always catch it, but you'll get it with another run over. So I'm just going to pop a little bit more paint down. There we go. A little bit more paint. And we'll catch it there, I think. There we go, and we're getting a little bit more of it. It's one of the, it's not coming up wonderfully, but it is coming up and it will make a nice background, so I'm not too worried about that. But there we are. So that's some different ways of using the stamps and the texture plate and stencils, and just some dropping in then with alcohol. So I hope that was useful. I can't believe an hour's gone by. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful. Oh, where did I get the stencils? Which stencils? This stencil is this one is a That's Crafty stencil. This is an Art by Marlene texture plate. This is an Art by Marlene stamp, red rubber stamp. This is a Just Lou stencil. And the other samples that I did earlier, that one is that's a Just Lou stencil from Studio Light. That's the Art by Marlene texture plate. That's a Just Lou stencil. That's a Just Lou stencil. That's a Just Lou stencil. And this is just dropping in, and then I used a Studio Light grunge stencil to just apply a little bit of white paint and get some shapes going on. So it's a selection, but thank you very much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and even though it was slightly chaotic to begin with, thank you for sticking with me, and I promise I'm not normally that off it. I'm not quite sure, I'm not sure what happened, but thank you, and hopefully I'll see you soon, if they'll have me back. Thank you, thanks, good night.